welcome to the future.
Tonight, a story that will really astound you. It's great news for people with diabetes. This simple patch that gives you a bloodless blood test. Diabetes affects 1.4 million people in the UK and over 120 million people worldwide. It's a condition that means your body can't control the level of sugar in the blood. So people with diabetes have to monitor their sugar level by doing a blood test several times a day. For many, especially children, it's the testing that's one of the worst parts of the disease. But hopefully, a breakthrough in Florida is going to change all of that. Needles, blood, and pain sound like a nightmare? For millions of people with diabetes, it's what they go through every day. If you're an insulin-dependent diabetic, like Florida Police Sergeant Donald West, your body can't process sugar properly. People with diabetes can't regulate the amount of sugar in their blood, ending up with too much or too little. Both can make them ill and cause long-term complications. So they need to monitor their blood sugar. To do that, they have to sample their blood with a needle stick test several times every day.
I've had diabetes since 1973, which makes me almost in my 27th year almost.
And what that means is if Donald has tested his blood sugar 4 times a day, as doctors recommend, he will have stuck a needle in his finger over 37,000 times.
After I've had it for 26 years, it's pretty daily routine for me, but there's times that it still hurts.
But now a Florida scientist, Jack Aronowitz, may have discovered a way to end the painful daily ritual for Donald and millions of others. He's been working on an alternative to the finger prick test for the last 11 years, and now he's invented a new system. And this is what Jack Aronowitz came up with. A tiny patch that works in just the same way as an anti-smoking nicotine patch, except in reverse. Instead of putting drugs into the system, this one analyzes what's already there, giving the person with diabetes an idea of their blood sugar level without ever having to break the skin. Instead of a jab from a needle, the patch uses a gel that's able to penetrate the skin completely painlessly. Rather than entering a blood vessel, the gel measures the sugar in the fluid between the cells, called the interstitial fluid. So how does the system work?
Well, it's very easy. We take one of the patches out. You'll see a side marked 1. You remove the backing. We fold the patch. Make sure it's glued together. You have side mark 2. We have a little bubble here. This makes sure that the gel that does the extraction through the skin is in the patch. We remove 2.
So
throw it away.
Priming it, if you like.
Well, getting it ready. And at that point, we attach it to the skin, push real hard, make sure that it's making contact. At that point, the meter on the clock, we push the button. We've now set a timer for 5 minutes. When the alarm goes off, we pull the cover off, take a reading, and that's it. We're finished.
Take 5. Now, you don't actually know if I'm diabetic or not, do you?
No, that's correct. Okay, our alarm just went off. We can see the signal flashing in case you were deaf. You can hear the beep. At this point, we remove the top cover. We put the optics right in the hole. And that's your reading, which tells me, yes, which tells me you ate lunch today and you're not a diabetic, and that's about what your interstitial fluid would be, because it takes a while from the glucose to get from the blood to the interstitial fluid and circulate.
Once the gel has reacted with the sugar in the fluid between the cells, it crosses back. Then the sugar reacts with the patch, changing its color depending on the amount of sugar. This color change is so subtle a human eye can't see it clearly, but the meter can. No blood, no mess, no pain. So hopefully people with diabetes will test their blood sugar more often and have better control over their disease long term. The system is still being tested, but as soon as the clinical trials are over, Jack Aronowitz hopes to start manufacture of the patches in commercial quantities, rather than small experimental batches. All going well, the system should be on offer in the States in the next couple of years. which is good news as far as Donald's concerned.
53 or you signal 74?
He's been trying the patch out for size and is now ready to throw away his needle forever.
It's definitely a lot less painful. It seems like it's going to be a little bit more accurate too. It's time for a change.
Well, there are certainly millions of people with diabetes who are looking forward to the bloodless test becoming available. If the patch doesn't take your fancy, there are a number of other systems being developed, including one using infrared light and another which uses minute electrical currents.